Hello and welcome back to my channel Reviews by Beth, and today we're going to be reviewing the book The Midnight Library. I read this over summer, one of my summer reads, and I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was quite surprising. I'd seen it all over TikTok yet again, BookTok made me buy it, but it was actually a nice surprise. It was quite an easy read. It was something that I really liked. A bit of a page turner. I really enjoyed it, so I thought I'd take you through it. Trigger warning, there are some mentions of suicide and suicidal thoughts, so just to let you know. But the book centralises on the character called Nora, and she is having, at the beginning of the novel, very much suicidal thoughts, and she's not very happy about her life, and she's having all of these what if I'd done this with my life, and what would have happened if I'd gone with this guy, and what would have happened if I did this instead of this? What would my life be like if I had a different job, or if I pursued a different career, or I carried on with my music at a young age? So there's all these what ifs, and they get to the part of the book very early on where she tries to take her own life, and she enters this kind of waiting room, but it's the Midnight Library. So you know how they say there's a waiting room for death? And basically she enters this and sees a figure, which is kind of an angelic figure in the form of a librarian that she looked up to when she was younger, called Mrs. Elm. And this is kind of an all-authority figure who tells her that the Midnight Library is a load of different books, so it's expansive as far as the eye can see. And she's like, what are all these books? And she's told that it is a version of her life which is ever so slightly different, but there's loads of them. So if she made one tiny choice, then her life would have been completely different. So we basically see her look at the butterfly effect effectively, and we see her go into different lives, and it's quite exciting to think, oh, what would have happened if she did this? So we see her become a musician and not leave the band that her brother had formed, and she sees what her life is like as a pop star. She sees what her life is like, just not very different to hers and extremely different to hers as it is, and she takes pleasure in all of these different lives, but she always ends up going back to the library because she's not happy. So she's told that she will stay in a life if she knows that she will not want to return to the library. But because there's all of these options, she constantly wants to go back to the library, and it's like, oh my goodness, what would have happened if I'd done this and this and this? So it's very interesting to see all of the different lives, and it's almost a bit like the sliding doors effect. I don't know if you've watched that film, the sliding doors reference. So it's really interesting to read about that, but it was quite philosophical as well, because it ends up being, you need to take back what you really want. So you need to be appreciative of what you have instead of what you could have had, because if you live in life in the way that you could have had this and my life could have been that, then you'll never actually act upon anything, and you'll always just live in regret, whilst you should live in the moment. So I feel like that this book does that beautifully, actually, and I wasn't expecting that. I often try and go into books where I've had them recommended. I try and not read too much about them, so I get a surprise, and it was definitely really nice. And the end, basically she reverted back to her normal life and looked at it in a different way and improved her life, and so she didn't end up killing herself and dying that way. She went back to her life and improved it and saw life in a different way and valued life, which it left me feeling it's quite a wholesome ending. It made you think about your own life and what you could be doing, and tried to make you stop with the what ifs and just really focusing on all the good parts of your life instead of the negatives. And I think that's a really important message to take. So I thought that was lovely, and I think Matt Haig does a really, really good job of that. So my review, I think I would give it a 4-star out of 5. I reluctantly give 5 stars out of 5. I only give 5 stars if it's like absolutely up there. I still thought this was a lovely book. I would recommend it. I think it's beautiful. It just wasn't quite a 5-star for me, but I still really enjoyed it at the same time. So yeah, I would recommend this. It's quite an easy read, not very long. So if you're looking for something not too mega, not too full on, then I would look at this one. So there you go. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you want to, you can support us by looking at the Patreon. Thank you.